you might as well do it now. And then someone else could take your spot. So just as a gentle reminder for those who are really not sure whether they're in the right place. I think it's a very interesting course. It is a lot of work. So that's kind of what I want to say. It is a lot of work. If you're not working harder in this course than in all the other courses that you're taking this semester, I will have not done my job. So just keep that in mind. So if you have another professor who says the same thing, then maybe you want to rearrange your schedule. And it's not just me. Of course I like you to work, but it's the nature of the material. It's just it takes a lot of time to go from zero to the level of competence that's expected at the end of the semester. It's just that kind of course. But hey, once you get there and you look back, it's just like when you've climbed a tall mountain, you look down and everyone looks kind of puny on the bottom, and you say, how the heck did I do that? So that's very satisfying. All right, so just send me an email, and I will. I think right now I have one open spot, but that usually changes quickly as people have had a chance to assess the situation. And I'll see if I can get a couple more tables in here, because that's my limiting factor. Could get a couple more, and chairs apparently. Is one chair missing there? It's only that chair missing, huh? Yeah. All right, I'll work on that. There's a couple of other sections that are probably also kind of fun. Other questions? Yeah?
Do we attend a lecture at both here?
Do you what?
Are we supposed to attend the next lecture?
Oh, that is a very good question. No, you're off the hook for 12 o'clock.
Oh.
Yes, so because I can't do a lab since you don't have the laptops yet set up. So yes, so you get an unexpected free time for lunch at 12 o'clock. But that would be a good time to locate a computer, check into Desire to Learn, and all of that good stuff. Other questions? Yeah?
Do you have a copy of the textbook of how it looks like?
Do I have a what?
Copy of the textbook and how it looks like?
A copy of the textbook and how it looks like.
Is this it?
Yes. Yeah, if you could hold this up.
Okay.
6th edition.
Yes. Yeah. And don't buy there's an international edition that the publisher purposefully messed up so that it's not usable for re-import, so don't get tricked into buying that. I had nothing to do with it. That's right, that's what I did. There's an online version that, if you prefer that, I guess it's a wash if you buy it and resell it versus the online. Whatever you prefer. But if someone is interested, people sometimes ask, is it online? I don't think there's anything for an iPad yet. Sorry about that. Other questions? Yeah?
How long did it take you to write the book?
That's a good question. Because it started out as a much smaller book that maybe took a year to write, and then updated it, and that took a few months, and 2 years later, and then updated again. And then one of the competing books was like really big, and the publisher said that we're losing sales to that book. And I said, that book is terrible. And the publisher said, well, the professor said, it doesn't matter, it's terrible, it's big. And so I said, well, you want big, we give you big. And so then it took another a year to make it much bigger. And then we actually called it Big Java. That was the working title, and that's what it's called now. And that book has been selling very well. So what you have is a subset of the big book. So that's why it's kind of. But it typically, a book of that size, for someone who's written a book before, takes about a year. And much of that is you send it out to other professors who say, this is the worst crap I've ever read in my entire life. I don't know, what professors seem to be opinionated people. So every week I get, right now because I'm revising another book, I get emails from really hostile people who tell me in no uncertain terms that this is the worst thing. They all contradict each other. So, so don't believe what I say, even if I do it with feeling. So it takes a long time because you get other people involved in how they look at it, how can they teach all of that. And then the other thing that takes forever is to do all the exercises and slides and solutions and quizzes. But that oftentimes the publisher hires someone else. They've actually tried to outsource that. So they had someone in India doing all the slides, and it did not work. Some things apparently can't be outsourced. Yeah.
Oh, can we use the 5th edition instead of the 6th one?
I don't think it's going to work. I'd have to. I mean, the assignment numbers are different, and you'd want to have at least access to the 6th edition. They're sufficiently different, and I don't remember what the differences are. That you'd want to have access to the 6th edition. I don't really want to have to map between the two. The 5th edition is ancient. So, yeah. I think it should be certainly possible to just read the material in the 5th edition and then just look at someone else's book and copy the assignments. I don't think you're going to be losing out much from that. They're not that different. But I don't want to have to deal with the different numberings. Yeah.
What kinds of projects are you working on?
What I'm working on right now? Oh, I'm writing a book on another programming language called Scala. That's a programming language for professionals. And that book is supposed to be done a month ago. It's 2/3 done. But it'll happen. Yeah.
Do you have any preferences for laptops?
No. I mean, I use a ThinkPad running Linux, which I like. People like Macs, people like Windows. It turns out that, particularly as you go on to later semesters, Windows is a little harder to use for this particular kind of stuff. So if you're just starting out, I'd give a slight preference to a Mac or a Linux machine. So if you know a little Linux, or if you have someone who can hold your hands for a few weeks, that does work best. But it requires a little more expertise, maybe. If you have the extra cash for a Mac, that's fine. But hey, anything will work. What's the single most important thing is, if you can't do anything else, load it up with memory. The more RAM, the better. Yeah.
Are the labs gonna be in here?
Yes.
Okay. So like, should we be like, should I like bring a power strip or something?
Yes. Yes. So it does actually work best if everyone who can remember brings a power strip, and we do kind of daisy chain them here, particularly for exams, because in an exam you do not want your laptop battery to die.
Yeah.
Yes. It is a problem. We're working on wireless power, but we're not there. Yeah.
What Linux distro are you running?
Well, I'm running Ubuntu 10.04, but just because I'm boring. Anything will work. What are you running?
I'm just using actually Windows right now.
Yeah, yeah. But Ubuntu is kind of, if something goes wrong, there's a ton of people who know how to help you with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sticking with it. But it doesn't really matter.
I was just curious what you were doing actually.
Yeah. And the reason I used to like update every 6 months and tinker with it, and then I got too busy, and so now I'm using that long-term thing where I only go through it every 3 years. All right, then I guess I will see you on Tuesday at 12 o'clock with a laptop, and hopefully I get lots of questions on Desire to Learn.